Today I'm going to be making this sweatshirt from the pattern that I did in the previous video. So if you are interested, keep watching. Ah, you're already here? Okay, let's go. So I already cutted my pieces. We have a back, we have front, we have sleeve that consists of 2 pieces. Of course, don't forget to put all your marks on the pattern pieces before you start sewing. So we will also need to cut the cuffs and the neckband, and I will show you here how to do it. First, take all your pattern pieces and measure the circuit of the neck. Then multiply the circuit by 0.75, that's the length, and the width for the neckband I usually put 6 centimeters, plus put a seam allowance all around, let's say 1 centimeter, that will be enough. I started by constructing sleeves as they will be made of 2 pieces. So I put them right sides facing, match the marks on each piece. And then I started to pin from this point towards the edge, and I did exactly the same thing for the other one. Once they were ready, I took them to my overlock and sewed them together. If you don't have overlock, it's 100% possible on a normal machine. Just change your needle for a stretch needle and use a narrow zigzag stitch or any other stretch stitch available on your machine, and you are good to go. Once you are done with it, it should look something like that. And I highly suggest you to press the seams with an iron to keep it nice and tidy. I continued with the sewing the front piece of a sweatshirt and the sleeve together. If you remember the previous video I posted about making this pattern, I made 2 marks on the front bodice piece and the sleeve. Now it will help me to identify which pieces are going together and where exactly they are supposed to match. Of course, don't forget that we are sewing these pieces together right side facing. You might be struggling first matching these pieces, but don't give up. Just keep adjusting until you are satisfied and until it matches. It is because the edges of each piece are different curves, so that's why you might be struggling, but don't worry, just keep doing it and you will be fine at the end. Then I took the other sleeve and did exactly the same thing on the other side. Then I took it to my overlock and quickly sew it together. If you are using overlock or a normal machine, it doesn't matter, but be careful when you are sewing to not stretch the fabric, otherwise you will end up with the ugly puckers and weird things. So once I was done, it looked something like that. Of course, I pressed it with the iron. Take my advice and keep doing it with any project that you work on. Then I put it nice and flat on the table, right side facing me. I took back bodice piece and pinned it to the sleeve right sides facing. This type of sleeve is called a raglan sleeve, and as you can see, the armholes which we are pinning now are quite straight line compared to a classic very rounded armholes, which makes it very easy for beginners. So I recommend it for you if you are a beginner at the sewing. It's very easy, and maybe you should start one of your first projects with this type of sleeves. Then I repeated the same process on the other side and sew it together. Once I was done with it, it looked something like that, so we already have a neckline there. Then the other step is to close the side seams, and at this point it's very important to match all the seams together before you will be sewing it. Otherwise it will not look nice when the seams will not be matching each other. And voila, we are almost there. Stay with me, we are almost done. Now we need to attach the neckband and the cuffs to the sleeves. Then I took a neckband that I measured and cut it. I sew it to make it a circle, and then I fold it in a half, wrong sides facing, just like that. I did the same thing with the cuffs, but be careful here to sew the sides that's supposed to be width of the rectangle, not the length. I hope it makes sense. Then I marked quarters on each piece. This will help me to distribute and pin evenly neckband to the neckline and the cuffs to the sleeves. I did the same thing on the sleeves. This is very important, as you will see the cuffs and neckband are shorter than the pattern pieces, but you need to stretch it while sewing, but we need to do it evenly. That's why we are trying to create this 4 points as a reference. Then take your cuff and put it inside the sleeve and pin it. And here you can nicely see what is the difference here, how much shorter it is. Try to put presser foot inside the sleeve, and remember, cuff is pinned inside at this point. Here I was trying to show you how to pull and stretch the cuff without stretching the sleeve. Put your finger inside and on the mark and gently pull it and sew it. Remember, pull just the cuff, not the sleeve. This is really important. Continue pulling and sewing until you come to an end, and use exactly the same technique from beginning until the end for the neckband. Exactly the same thing. now I was almost done. Only last step is missing, and this can be different for everyone. It totally depends on you how you want to finish your sweatshirt. I just turned the hem inside and stitch it with a twin needle, and I measure 2 holes in the middle and I pull a little string inside. Okay guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope that it was somehow helpful for you. Well, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comments down below. If you will subscribe to my channel, of course, I will be more than happy, and as well if you like this video. Anyway, if you're questioning yourself, why did I choose this kind of design with my fabric? Well, it was a very good quality for a very good price, and I knew I am going to be the only one who will see it because I'm just going to wear it at home. Well, I don't go anywhere, so anyway, who cares? But anyway, if you were asking yourself this kind of question, so this is my answer. Anyway, I hope to see you soon, and thank you again. Bye.